Ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, it's Scott Hammond at 100% Humboldt Podcast, episode 103, with my new best friend, Colin Fiske.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming, man. Tell us, who are you? What do you do?
So I am the Executive Director of CRTP, which is the Coalition for Responsible Transportation Priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a local nonprofit, been around since 2015. And we do public education advocacy around what I like to call safe, sustainable, and equitable transportation. So trying to make sure that it's easier, safer, more convenient, more affordable to get around by ways other than a private vehicle.
Nice. It seems like with the new trail, we're getting closer every day.
Yeah, we've had a lot of progress lately, and the Bay Trail is super exciting.
It's so cool. I drive by every morning from McKinleyville to Eureka, and I look over there and go, man, I wish I was riding a bike right now. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I just rode it here, and it is super fun. I can attest.
Oh, the weather's, it's that pre-storm, warm, balmy.
Yep.
It's my favorite Humboldt weather.
I like it too, although I have to say it was a headwind down here, and I'm looking forward to the tailwind back.
Oh, you'll get home. You'll get home really quick. Yeah. It'll be good. So we mentioned off camera that you that they're building the Annie and Mary bike trail.
Yeah.
Started construction. What?
Well, so it's divided into several sections, but the first section technically was just a little half-mile in Blue Lake, and that was built a couple of years ago.
Right.
But this next section, which starts at the skate park in Arcata near Cal Poly,
right,
and then heads up, eventually it'll get up to the pump station number 1 park.
Mm-hmm.
And so that part is under construction, and they've actually completed the segment from the skate park to the new dorms so that the students can get back and forth on the trail and continuing to build it out. I think they're supposed to be done next summer, maybe.
So the high-rise dorms go down to the skate park, which takes them anywhere but over the bridge back to Cal Poly.
Yeah, it'll be pretty much the most direct route to walk or bike on that trail.
The running joke at 103 episodes is Humboldt's
Cal exactly.
Poly. It's Cal Poly.
Yep, gotta get it through the head.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool. And so then the dorms would take you around to the pump station, like West End Road.
Yeah, the other reason besides that connection with the university that I think it's really exciting is that it's going to be the first kind of safe and comfortable way to bike or walk between Valley West and the rest of Arcata.
Right.
Because with the highways, it's been so cut off from the rest of town.
You'd have to go around to the hospital out that way.
Yeah,
James
or West End Road where there's, high-speed traffic and not real comfortable to bike.
There's not a lot of bike or pedestrian lanes at all, right?
Yeah. So this will be that. You still have to get over the overpass on Gentoli, but as sort of in coordination, Caltrans is supposed to be making a few upgrades to that, so there should be some bike walk lanes over the overpass after this.
Yeah. So if you're missing all this, it's in Arcata in Humboldt County, which is in California. So I had to use my prop. There it was.
Yeah.
So you're more than a bike guy. You're like a transportation advocate for a new, next level stuff.
Yeah.
So talk about what that is. I mean, we're not going to have cars forever.
It's hard to say what'll happen. I don't like to make predictions, but I think right now, over the past century or so, and there's a really fascinating history of it if you want to get into that, but we've really, in the United States and in a lot of parts of the world, planned our transportation network and our communities, the way we build, kind of on the assumption that everyone's going to drive a car. Right. And that makes it so that it's often hard to do anything but drive a car. Right. And so we are trying to make sure that there's a little more balance in that system and that people can get around other ways, whether it's walking or biking, rolling, taking the bus, those kinds of things. And there's a couple of reasons I think that's so important. One is that a lot of folks actually can't drive for various reasons. Sure. Folks with disabilities, obviously kids can't drive. People when they get a little older can't drive or possibly shouldn't drive. And then there's a lot of people who just can't afford it. And so we did a little math and estimated that there's at least 36,000 people in Humboldt that don't have a driver's license.
Wow.
And
that's a lot, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, that includes kids, but at least 16,000 of those are adults. Yeah. And
what's our population?
About 136,000.
Or 136, yeah. It hasn't grown much.
No, it's been pretty flat.
Year over year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it's a lot, and probably a lot of people with driver's licenses don't drive because they can't afford it, can't afford gas, insurance, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, that's a lot of folks who we don't hear from sometimes, in public meetings. They don't necessarily have their voices heard. So we try to remind people that those folks exist and they need to get around and they need to be safe and get to their work and get to healthcare and all those things. And then the other reason is, basically environmental, that our leading source of climate pollution comes from transportation, almost 3/4 of it here in Humboldt. And so to address that issue, obviously a lot of folks know we got to make the transition to electric vehicles and zero emission vehicles. But really, if you look at the models, we probably can't do that fast enough to meet the climate goals that the scientists say we need to hit. So, so part of it also has to be just driving less and doing those other things more.
Yeah. As a good neighbor, I talk to a lot of people in insurance and that we insure a lot. There are a lot of people that don't drive much.
Yeah.
They have cars, they have insurance, they just drive 2,000-3,000 miles a year, maybe, or in town. So there's a lot of reduction there. I agree with that. So let's talk about some specifics. So let's go back in time to, early traffic calming measures in Humboldt. Where do we start with 8th Street and I Street or J, or would that be a place to start?
Sure. I mean, so, I've been doing this since 2015, and there certainly are things that happened before that, before my time. But I would say, H and I Street was kind of the thing that probably got the most attention in the last, 7-8 years. The first big thing. I guess.
Heat, right?
And heat, yeah.
Was that Miles Slattery? Was he a big part of that?
I'm trying to remember what the timeline is whether he was city manager yet at that point.
He might not at 15 or 16, maybe not.
Yeah, but so I couldn't answer that for sure. But
hey, Miles.
Yeah, exactly. But my perspective from like an outside advocate was, we were just there trying to support a good, safe design for people and making sure that people could bike safely back and forth. But the other thing that I think is missed sometimes is that putting in good bike infrastructure actually makes it safer for drivers too. And part of the reason is that it tends to make people drive a little slower, and that is that's much safer. But also probably it makes people just pay a little bit more attention and realize there's other people on the road. And so when you put in like a bike lane, and especially a protected bike lane with like some sort of vertical element there, which we are just starting to see a couple of here in Humboldt, the research shows that it's not just safer for bikers, it's also really reduces car crashes.
Wow. So the numbers bear it out nationally. Probably enough data over decades, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of data on it.
Yeah. So I noticed that in Eureka and Arcata, they have the whole streets dedicated. Like I think C Street goes into Old Town from downtown, and it's all green lanes. And so
the bike boulevards, they call them?
Yeah. Tell me what those are. Or tell us, because a lot of us don't know what that is.
Sure. So a bike boulevard it's a shared street where people can bike and drive. But whereas, most of our streets kind of get driving priority and bicyclists are kind of like have to make their way however they can. A bike boulevard is really meant to kind of give bikes the priority. And so the ways that you do that, typically there's two key elements to it. One of them is controlling speed of traffic. And so that's, the typical traffic calming stuff that we see both there and other places around town with the bulb outs and even speed bumps or, signage and striping, all those things.
You called that bulb out there on the curbs?
The curb extensions,
the corners?
Yeah.
Yeah, they slow me down.
Yep, that's what they're meant to do.
And we'll talk about downtown Eureka and what a mess it is traffic-wise.
For sure.
Or bad habits. In a minute, but go ahead. So
So traffic calming, slowing speeds is one of the elements.
Okay.
The other element is reducing traffic volumes. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. But the way that they did it here was setting up alternating one-way streets on a couple of the blocks. So you can access any point by car, but you can't drive through because sooner or later you're going to hit a one-way in the other direction.
Really? Where's that at?
There's 2 or 3 of them, and I'm sorry, I don't remember on the top of my head which intersections they're at.
Maybe they're way uptown a little bit more from downtown.
The closest one, I think it's a 7th or 8th. It's not far.
Okay.
And then, but basically it's just one block on each side is one way in opposite directions. The other way you can do it is what are called diverters, where you still have a 2-way street, but every few blocks or every quarter mile or whatever, you kind of put some bollards or something across the intersection so cars can't continue, but bikes can.
Gotcha.
And the idea is just you don't want a lot of people using the street to go long distances and cut through. You just want to have kind of local traffic to limit that volume, make it more comfortable and safe for people biking.
Gotcha. So the other I noticed in those bike boulevards is a lot of green paint on that street. So you're going, oh, I'm in a, what do I do? Well, I think I'll slow down.
Yeah.
I think I'll keep my eyes out for bikes because you never know what kind of bikers are going to show up on this boulevard.
Yep. The green paint is important. I think people around here are learning to associate that with biking. And, just a little PSA here, if you see just the solid green lines, that's to tell you that's, a bike lane or a place for a bike to stop. If you see the big sort of dotted lines, that's a conflict zone. So that's where a bike and a car might have to be in the same area. So that's a particularly watch out for bikes kind of a thing.
Okay, good to know. So if you're just joining us, my new best friend, Colin Fiske, from the Coalition of, say it again?
Coalition for Responsible Transportation Priorities.
Nice. And that's your organization, huh?
Yeah, I'm the executive director.
How do we get a hold of you guys? Just do a shout out in terms of wanted to participate, want to join, want to throw money at you, gold bullion.
Yeah. Please
bicycles.
Throw the bicycles and gold at me.
Okay.
It's
could use some of that.
Yeah. It's our website is transportationpriorities.org. You can also get there because one of my board members thought that was way too long. So crtp.info also gets you there.
crtp.info. Okay.
Yeah. And
who's on the board with you?
Well, let's see. We have Carol Monet, James Clore, Robin Baker.
James Clore. I know James.
Yeah.
Premier Financial.
He's great. Yeah.
What's up, Jim? Just saw him actually.
He's works at Humboldt Area Foundation, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Tom Wheeler's on my board, Josefina Barantes, Carice Geronimo, and Peggy Martinez. I think I've got everybody.
Yeah. Sorry if we did get everybody. But close enough. Yeah. So Arcata has a bike boulevard too, on 10th, I think, by Los Bagels that goes out to the.
Yeah. I would say, and sorry to the person who designed that, but and Eureka has another one too that they call a bike boulevard that was built a long time ago. And I would say they're not really bike boulevards. All they have what we call sharrows, just the painted bike symbol with the 2 arrow signs, and that's kind of all they have. And so they're those used to sometimes be called bike boulevards. It's a little bit, legally it's the same category as a bike boulevard. Both of them are called Class 3 facilities.
I see.
And so sometimes they get called that. But really, if it's just a sharrow, it doesn't provide that same safety or comfort for bikes.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make sure that, the bike boulevards that get built in the future are really meet a higher standard.
Nice. So let's proceed north to the Bay Trail, Arcata. We'll talk about McKinleyville last.
Sure.
But before we do any of that, tell us the Colin story. Were you raised up here? How'd you get here? Who are you? What do you want?
Yeah. I was raised in Philadelphia. And I went to college in Southern California.
What school?
Pomona College.
Sure.
In Claremont.
Sure. Good schools.
Yeah.
Is that all part of Claremont or is it just part of adjacent to?
There's the Claremont colleges. It's part of the Claremont colleges. So there's 7 institutions that are affiliated.
Wow. Does that mean you're smart?
I don't know. Hopefully.
I was before I went there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I learned a lot there, and I met my wife there. So
cool.
That was great.
We go down to Glendale, so Glendora.
Oh, yeah.
Not too far away.
Nice.
You ever been to that really cool the Huntington Gardens?
I have been there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's super cool.
They didn't tell us about that place.
Yeah.
Right there near Pasadena. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, no.
Tell us more. So how'd you get to Humboldt?
Well, my wife got a job at the university.
Nice.
So she's a professor of oceanography.
Cool.
And we moved here in 2011. So I've been here since then.
Oh, reminds me of a story.
What's that?
So when I was a lot younger and I had beautiful long hair, kind of like now you and I have the same haircut.
I had long hair when I was younger too.
Yeah, I got voted best hair in my most prettiest hair, which who doesn't want to have pretty hair when you're in high school?
Exactly.
We were wandering the streets as we had a chance to do it, young feral hippie children in National City, California, which is just south of San Diego, and went to the Career Center, and the Career Center had this microfiche where they talked about this university called Humboldt State. And I go, wouldn't that be great to go up there and be an ocean major or a forestry major? And Phil goes, yeah. And so he never made it. I made it. Came in as a declared ocean major.
Wow.
Had no idea how dumb I was. So 4 years later, a liberal arts degree later, here I sit in the podcast chair. So
well, there you go.
Yeah, life is a journey.
It is indeed.
Yeah. So she came up and taught, and you came along with.
Yep. Pretty much.
So what do you have a day? Do you have a day job? What do you do when you're not doing this, Colin?
Well, this is my day job.
Okay.
So we're a small organization, and most of the time that we've been around, I've been the only sort of full-time staff. Right now, we have another person working a few hours a week doing social media and stuff. But
cool.
But this is my job, and when I'm not doing this, I do a few things. Let's see. I'm also on the Community Advisory Committee for Redwood Coast Energy Authority.
Oh, cool.
And I'm on the City of Arcata's Transactions and Use Tax Oversight Committee. And, just like to hang out, sort of play board games.
Guess you have kids?
I don't have kids.
Dogs?
I have a dog and a cat.
Dog and a cat.
Yep. They are beloved members of the household.
Sure. Yeah, we have Richard the cat.
Nice.
Jody's he's beloved to Jody. I'm not sure if that applies to me, but that's another story. Anyway,
they have their favorites.
Yeah. So yeah, you made it to Humboldt, and now it's home. How long have you guys been here?
14 years since 2011. Yeah.
Wow. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Welcome to Humboldt County.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Good story. So, what do you see as your challenges then to get out your gospel of transportation and make it palatable? And what are the obstructions and obstructionists out there that keep your good word and your vision and mission from going out? And how do you frame that up and tee that up?
Well, I think change in general is always hard. And, as we mentioned, cars have been so central to the way we've planned our communities for so long that
over 100 years.
Yeah, it's a big change.
Yeah.
So I think that's always going to be a challenge. I think actually what we call car culture is especially challenging. It's very pervasive. We've all been exposed to the messages in the marketing our whole lives about cars making us strong, cars making us sexy, cars making
all
us.
Of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people really associate themselves with their cars.
I'm fast.
Yep.
I got a cool car. I got a good truck, man. My truck is bad.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't, but.
Oh, well, yeah.
I like my Toyota Venza. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
It gets me where I'm going.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I insured a guy that was in a car wreck, and he had a really kind of I didn't find it a very nice car. It was an old Mitsubishi, but you would have thought they hit his mom when they hit his car, because he was freaked out, man. This was like his baby, his idol, his thing.
Yeah. And
it's like, I said, dude, it's a possession. It's a rusty piece of metal, and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And you're going to outlast it hopefully by a lot.
Yeah.
And you cannot take it with you on the train to heaven. So just lose the Mitsubishi, bro.
Yeah.
So you're right. There's that possessed. It is an interesting cultural inherited. Advertising is persuading us that we have desire, and maybe it could be met in a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
or other things. That's what advertising is.
That's what they do.
Boy, we're really digressing here, but carry on with.
Well, yeah. So I think there's the practicalities of it just often being difficult to get around other ways, and there's the culture. I think there's this fascinating concept that a researcher in the UK came up with. He coined this term a few years ago called motonormativity. And it came out of this study that he did where which has since been repeated in the US, where he surveyed a bunch of people and he asked people these paired questions where some of them are about cars and some of them are about a sort of equivalent situation that doesn't involve a car. So like the most famous one was he asked some people, do you agree or disagree with this statement? People shouldn't smoke in crowded areas because the fumes can poison other people. And most people in the modern day agreed with that.
Sure.
And then he asked another group of people shouldn't drive fossil fuel vehicles in crowded areas because the fumes can poison other people. And almost nobody agreed with that. They thought that was a crazy position to take.
Right.
And, and then he did a whole bunch of other sort of related things where, substitute car for something else. And he found that even people who don't drive, but who are just, living in this culture, kind of give cars a pass morally.
An auto bias.
Yep. And so it's just really interesting to get, like, they're so, they have such a special place in our lives that it's like, we treat them as if they're a special case and different from anything else.
Right. Yeah, I think of all the old TV commercials from my age in the 60s and 70s and all the cool, oh, wow, if I could have that car.
Yeah.
A Volkswagen Beetle. What?
Yeah.
That's 1995. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. So you have an uphill battle. You have a mindset, cultural battle ahead.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm glad you're up for it. That's cool. And none of this would have any context unless Joni and I have traveled to Amsterdam, not one, but 3 times.
Wow. I'm jealous.
It's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of, I'll tell you, this is a quantifiable term, a shit ton of bikes.
Yep.
In fact, if you live in Amsterdam, you have 2 bikes. You have your party bike.
Yeah.
It's this destroyed old thing, and it winds up at the canal eventually. And then you have your real bike, your commuter bike or your whatever. Yeah. And it is bike-centric, as you know. Maybe you've traveled there.
I have not, unfortunately, but I have read about it quite a bit.
And we go to Utrecht, which is south about 30 minutes. And it's a third of the size. It's younger than Amsterdam. And it's very inconvenient to own a car. Why would you have one? Because you got mass transit that goes to London and Paris and Belgium. Every 8 minutes, my son goes, you missed the train. It's not like an airline, Dad. Yep. There's another one in 8 minutes. I go, what? So you lose the paranoia.
And the fascinating thing, because I've read quite a bit about biking in the Netherlands and the history there, even though I have not visited, but it's on my list. But the fascinating thing about it is that they've had a sort of a bike culture for a long time, but in the mid-20th century, when the U.S. was, knocking down neighborhoods to build highways through cities and all that kind of stuff, they were doing the exact same thing in the Netherlands.
For highways?
Yeah. Really? They were knocking down historic buildings and widening the streets and building highways and turning their cities into car-centric cities like we did.
Interesting.
But there was this big backlash to it. And it was in the form of sort of an alliance between the historic preservation people who didn't want the old buildings and neighborhoods torn down, and families who were really upset about their kids being unsafe with all the fast cars in the neighborhoods.
Interesting.
And they kind of teamed up and had a huge amount of success in changing the political narrative, I guess, in that country. Yeah. To where. But it did take a couple decades, but then, in the 80s, I think, is when they kind of started really focusing on building bike infrastructure. And now, a few decades later, it's like a biking paradise or whatever. But
it is.
But I think it shows that we can make choices, and we, they weren't always that way.
Yeah, I kind of wonder about the history. I figured, this is 100 years old. Probably not.
No, the bike infrastructure is pretty. I mean, biking was around before cars, right? But building that specific bike infrastructure is not that old.
Funny thing, really progressive country, politically in every way, bikes, energy, the whole nine. Not a frickin' bike helmet in the country. Nobody wears a bike helmet, dude.
Yep.
It's that Dutch personal rights, personal responsibility. If I fall on my head, I die. We're at a used store, kind of a thrift store. Bike helmets, like dime a dozen. They're everywhere. It's like, oh, these guys, maybe children wear them.
Could be.
Yeah, children do frequently, but that's all we saw. So so it's a paradigm shift here.
Yeah, and so I'll preface this by saying that I am very much in favor of bike helmets. I wear a helmet every time I get on a bike. However, the U.S. is kind of an outlier in emphasizing bike helmets as the sort of way to be safe on a bike. And I would say that even though a bike helmet can definitely save your life if you get in a crash, the fact that we have one of the highest rates of bike fatalities and injuries of any country while we focus on bike helmets, I think tells you that's not the most effective thing to do.
Right.
The most effective thing to do is to have the safe infrastructure.
Sure.
And so I guess my feeling about it is we kind of focus on that because we feel that it's the personal responsibility of a bicyclist to take it upon themselves to be safe, whereas the attitude maybe in other countries is like, it's a social responsibility to make sure that everyone on the street is safe. Obviously, I think there's a balance there.
Different framework, though.
Yeah, but it's just a different way of thinking about it.
That's good. That's really good. So this show comes on Access Humboldt, and on Access Humboldt, I see the guy a lot. The guy that came and lectured in Arcata and the Wharfinger and different places. He's the
Dan Burden.
Dan, the older guy, kind of big guy.
Yeah.
What's Dan's gospel message? What's he all about in transportation?
Well, shoot, I don't want to speak for Dan. He's the what do they say, the Johnny Appleseed of walkability or something?
He is that guy, though, right?
He is that guy.
So he comes to towns and lectures and teaches and.
Yep. I think he was one of the inventors of what they call a walk audit, which we've done a few here, and he has come here and led several. And it's basically you get together in a group and you just walk a certain route and you kind of walk slowly and you stop and you look at things and you make notes of like, how safe is it to walk here? How comfortable is it? If you were to imagine yourself in another person's position, like someone who's blind or a wheelchair or a kid, how might it feel to that person?
Wow.
And then you kind of, you take all those notes and you use that sort of crowdsourced knowledge from people participating, and then you write up a little report and you kind of figure out what you could do to make it better.
Right.
And so he was a real innovator of that method, and he kind of does that everywhere he goes. And CRTP has picked it up. We did one, actually two last year on 4th and 5th Streets in Eureka. And
I was going to say, did somebody do downtown?
Yeah. So we came out with a report a couple of months ago based on that, and also other like crash data and other information to sort of document the safety issues, particularly on that corridor, the Caltrans 4th and 5th Street corridor, and make recommendations for making it safer.
Yeah, when I first came to Humboldt, they had a bypass planned.
Yeah.
They bought a bunch of homes up, and they were going to bypass the whole darn thing, and then that plan got, bypassed. So
see what you did there.
I was waiting for that one all day. So interesting that you would pick those. I was thinking that. I go, they're not going to do downtown. That would be disastrous. That's the first place you went. So
the first place we went was Broadway, I would say.
Okay, that would be second.
We've been working on Broadway for a while.
It's a tie.
Yeah. But honestly, if you look at pedestrian and bike deaths and serious injuries over the years in Humboldt County, that's where they're concentrated, is Broadway, 4th and 5th Streets.
I had a couple friends. Scott Q. Marcus has been on the show, and great friend. He got hit downtown and flipped over. Haven't had Cliff Berkowitz yet, but he got hit somewhere on the way to Ferndale, and crazy accident. So what are some of the hot spots in Eureka that, do you know offhand, that are hot intersections like Myrtle and West or H and 7th or 6th?
Corridor wise, it's definitely that 101 corridor.
Sure.
In terms of the particular intersections, I just went through Myrtle and West, and not fun on your bike.
I bet, yeah.
A lot of people I know avoid that intersection.
That's your way on back to the trail, though, to go back through behind Open Door to get to the trail, right?
Yep, that's where I was coming from.
Yeah.
So, I think in general, what I would say is that there's this class of street called an urban arterial. I don't want to get too wonky here, but basically an arterial is the kind of street like Broadway, 4th and 5th, but also like Harris, Henderson, HI, the streets that were designed to carry as much traffic as possible as fast as possible. And, they were designed at a time when that was just the priority. But the problem is that when you do that through a neighborhood, through a community where people are also going to be walking, biking, schools, senior centers, businesses, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to have that many cars going that fast.
You can't jam through Henderson Center. That's just a bad thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so urban arterials, that type of road, just everywhere in this country is where the most people are killed and injured. And so a lot of what has to be done to make things safer is kind of retrofitting those types of streets. And I mean, that involves a change in priorities, basically.
Sure.
We have to be willing to say, when we're in an established community, when we're in Eureka or Arcata or even going through Willow Creek or Oric or wherever, like the priority is going to be safety and not speed and throughput. And I would say, when you pose it like that, most people kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
But when it comes right down to it, there's often a lot of resistance because people are used to it. They don't want to spend another minute getting from one side of town to the other or whatever. And but for us, it's like, you hear all the time, safety first, and the Caltrans will say that, the city transportation departments will say that, but we really got it. If that's true, we got to do that, Yeah,
and culturally, we don't want to really. Right. We like that.
Right.
We pay lip service.
Yeah.
It's like the doctors in oncology in the backs having cigarettes. It's like, okay, we want to cure cancer. So to your point then, so Joni went to this MCMAC meeting a couple of weeks ago, and we want to calm traffic on Central Avenue. As soon as first blush, without even looking at anything, that's a terrible idea. How do you do that on Central Avenue? The traffic will be backed up back into Arcata and that could be true. I mean, I don't know what'll happen, but as she explained the idea to me and how we could take 4 lanes into 2 at certain parts of McKinleyville, and your net time drive from, say, entering Six Rivers Brewery to coming out at Ace Hardware could be less because there's fewer lights.
Yeah.
Now you're talking, and hey, that's if it's fewer lights and more safety and more roundabouts. Talk to that for a minute. Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing. Okay, I'm going to start at what seems like a little bit of a diversion, but I'm going to get back to this.
Sure.
So there's a concept called induced travel or induced demand. And I would say this is kind of the central principle of transportation planning. And it's something that has been documented for many decades now. And probably you've heard of like the classic example, which is you have a freeway and it's real congested. Sure. And so the engineers add another lane to the freeway. And then 6 months later, it's the same amount congested. You're like, well, how could that be? And it's induced travel. And it means basically if you build more capacity, people will fill it up.
Sure.
And the idea is like, basically from an economic perspective, the cost of travel is mostly time. And so when you reduce the amount of time that it takes, then people will, it's cheaper to do, so people will do it until it gets slow again, and then, then it reaches that equilibrium of congestion.
I think of my budget. If I make more money, I spend it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And so that's well documented. We know that happens. We still often try to add capacity to relieve congestion, even though we know it won't work, but that's another thing.
It's LA freeways. Yeah.
Yeah. But inverse of that, it turns out, is also kind of true, although less well known. And it's sometimes they call it traffic evaporation, which is if you remove capacity, people drive less. And it's hard to explain how that happens. And I would say that like the experts really don't know how that happens. Some of it is people take other routes, but when you look at something like a road diet, like we're talking about in McKinleyville, those have been extensively studied, and they actually rarely result in large amounts of traffic being diverted to other streets, even though you would think that might be the case.
There's not other streets.
Right, and in McKinleyville, there's not. Well, there's the highway, but yeah.
There's the highway, and then there's
McKinleyville Ave.
McKinleyville Avenue, which is low capacity.
Yeah, but a lot of what happens is probably people make other plans. They use other modes of transportation, or they take fewer trips, or they chain their trips together so they don't have to, go out multiple times a day.
So numbers bear this up, that there is evaporation.
Yeah, and I would say the most famous examples are when cities have eliminated entire urban freeways, right? And this has happened a number of times now. And every time this happens, you can be sure you're going to hear the phrase "Carmageddon." That's the prediction is like there will just be completely stopped traffic everywhere in the city because where are all those cars going to go?
Never happens.
Never happens.
Huh.
And
where does it evaporate to?
Yeah, exactly. It's fascinating, right?
Where all the socks go in the laundry. Yeah.
It's one of those like emergent phenomena that you couldn't predict it from any one person's behavior, but somehow when everybody gets together, it's
a truth. Yeah. Interesting.
So, that's the thing. And there's also, and Dan Burton talked about this too, is that like you can also just design a street so that 2 lanes could carry as much as 4. Part of that is like what they call friction, so it's the stopping and the stop go, and the driveways and, kind of like managing those things. But also counterintuitively, sometimes when you have more lanes in the same direction, it slows things down because people are changing lanes and trying to, they're sort of acting unpredictably, trying to speed in front of other people or whatever.
Yeah.
Where if you only have one lane, everyone's just kind of going the same speed, doing the same thing. Because you gotta. Yeah.
Hey, if you're just joining us, it's Scott Hammond, 100% Humboldt podcast with my new best friend, Colin Fiske, who is about to perhaps start the Dick Taylor bar.
Oh, man, exciting.
Oh, this is the Quinoa Crunch. This is Adam Dick's mom, Colleen's favorite. I think she might have invented this. And I'm looking for my Quality Body card here, one of my other sponsors. And Kim Kemp likes this. She has this on Redheaded Black Belt. So
nice.
You're soon to be very famous.
Wow. All right.
So, hey, let's do the quiz. You ready?
Okay.
The bell.
Well, now I'm nervous.
Question number 1. What do you like about Humboldt?
Oh, a lot.
Make these fast. I'm going to have a lot of these.
Oh, geez. All right.
I had a lot of coffee today.
Do you, like how much detail do you want me to go into?
Just a little.
Okay. Well, I love the natural landscapes. I love the redwoods and the beach and the dunes and the rivers. And I like the people. It's just a welcoming, warm environment.
Yeah, nice. Good answer. What fills up your cup? What fulfills you in life?
I think it's time spent with people that I love, time with my friends and my family, and just doing things that are fun and meaningful for us together.
Cool. Ready? Number 3. What do you find soul crushing? You're laughing because you're already thinking of something.
Well, paperwork. I don't like paperwork.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Every time.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, just stop at paperwork. So you have a full day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. in Humboldt. And, cost is no object. So what would you do with a 12-hour day that was yours?
Wow. Let's see. I would definitely go for a hike somewhere. Probably in Prairie Creek. Although there's a lot of good places to choose.
My wife's going to like your answer. Just Prairie Creek in general. Yeah, that'll work.
It's beautiful up there. I would definitely go to a restaurant that I like. Let's see. There's a lot of those to choose from too. I really like Renata's. I like get the crepes. let's see, I like Brick and Fire and Eureka here,
Sure.
Just my wife and I are kind of foodies, we're into food.
Cool.
So I'd probably do that. Maybe go out for a drink. My favorite beer bar is Dead Reckoning in Arcata. So,
sure. Does a good job.
Yep. I like to hang out there.
What's the guy in the kilt? What's his name?
I knew until you asked me that.
Yeah. Big guy in a beard.
Yeah.
Is he a Scotsman?
It's completely escaped me.
It's not Sean. It's
no.
I'll think of him in a minute. Nice guy.
Well, now I'm embarrassed. I can't remember.
Do they have Pliny the Elder on tap?
They do. Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Pliny the Elder, if you don't know.
Yeah. Incredible tap list.
Yeah. It's, no, he's got some really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I like
Theo is his name.
Theo. Thank you.
Yeah.
You were looking for that one.
I was like, I can't believe I can't remember that.
And last question. What would you like to see happen in Humboldt?
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
Well, I guess since I'm a transportation person, I'll stick to that side of things. I would like to see it just easier to get around without a car. I'd like to see better public transportation. And I would say the Humboldt Transit Authority does an incredible job with a very small budget and a huge area to cover, but like just to make it easier to get back and forth, get around by bus, more like a complete network of safe bike facilities would be cool. So it's like we were talking about, we have this great trail, but then I got to go through Myrtle and West to get here,
Right.
It's like if we had a whole network so you didn't have to like take your life in your hands once or twice, you know?
Right. This arterial,
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
So you could go all the way out Myrtle and go Old Arcata Road safely.
Yeah. Even that'd be cool.
Do you think that'll ever happen?
I think there's nothing stopping it if we have the will.
Yeah. Well, hey, congrats on the quinoa crunch. Dick Taylor, located in Old Town, Eureka, California.
I neglected to say I should go to Dick Taylor too, because that factory is pretty cool.
And it's right on the trail.
Yeah. Yep.
Go in there right after we're done here.
Nice.
So appreciate that. So I'll give you Joni's two questions. So what's realistic and what's idealistic in terms of your outcomes and your vision for the county and transportation? What general big picture things would you want to share? Let's go ideal first.
Okay, ideal.
And it kind of piggybacks on the last question.
It's kind of a similar answer, I would say, to what I was just trying to express. But I think making it so that well, let me step back for a second. It's not possible to envision that kind of place where it's just easy to walk and bike and take the bus everywhere without some changes to the landscape, and I know to some people density is a bad word, but we need to have more density. In other words, like more people close to each other and to work and to school and to all those things to make it possible to walk or bike and to make it possible to have good transit service. So I think, and I personally think that if we start doing that, which, Eureka has been doing some of that lately with the affordable housing downtown and the transit center that's going to be built with apartments above it. I
was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Is that behind Lost Coast Brewery?
Right, exactly. And so I think that that not only will help make it possible to walk and bike places, take the bus, but also isn't it, it enlivens the community a little bit, It's like right now you could go downtown Eureka at certain times of night and there's like nothing. It's dead,
Certain times of the day, dude.
Certain times of the day, that's
it's
true.
Just like I walk around going, the only things happening are banks and dispensaries.
Yep.
It's like not even that.
And part of that is because not very many people live there.
Right.
But like if people live in and you find that in any city where like the downtown is like just businesses, just offices or whatever, at night or during, holidays or whatever, it's just dead.
Just dead.
But like when people live there, then it's active more. You can support more like businesses that are open at all hours. You can kind of get that more vibrant scene and people can get to know each other more. There's people on the sidewalk you're running into.
Sure.
So all the kind of things that we love about having like small towns, I think you can kind of like amp that up by having just a few more people in those core areas. So yeah, I think, I guess making making our small towns, our Eureka, Arcata, and the smaller towns more vibrant, more walkable, more bikeable, investing more in the transit system. So like you don't have to like look at this complicated schedule and figure out where you're going to go and hope you don't miss the last bus, but you can just walk out there and be like, a bus is going to come in a few minutes, you know?
Yeah, right.
That would be an ideal transportation system for me. Oh, and also nobody's dying.
Yeah.
That's a really big thing. Because it's like a leading cause of death, especially for kids and like
bikes.
Just traffic in general.
Just getting in a car wreck.
Yeah.
Real quick on the homeless, and I don't mean to digress there, but certainly we have a high degree of homeless people that get hit on Broadway or middle of the night, 4th or 5th. How do you attribute that? I mean, there's certainly takes 2 people to get in a car wreck, but or more.
I mean, we don't. So I'll say this is mostly speculation because we don't actually have data on like the housing status of people who are hit. But anecdotally, it does seem like there's a high proportion of houseless folks who are victims of those crashes. And that's not just true here. That's true where it's been looked at. It's true.
So tracks in San Diego or Portland or wherever.
Yeah. And I think likely reasons are, one is that people who don't have a house often end up living in places that are high risk for that. So like living in sort of under underpasses or living, in proximity to speeding traffic. And so that just like they have a higher risk than those of us who might have the luxury of living in a nice, calm neighborhood somewhere. And the other thing is that because they live in those areas, they're likely to be around at times when people might not be looking for pedestrians or bicyclists, like late at night.
In storms.
Yep. Exactly. So I think those are probably 2 of the big factors. I would say that though it's kind of an indicator thing. And actually there's really interesting research that shows that nationwide, the rates of pedestrians who are killed in car crashes are much higher in low-income neighborhoods, and
interesting.
They're higher among people of color, and especially among Native Americans than among the general population. And so, it's not just houseless people. This is kind of like the people who are most vulnerable in our society are the ones who are bearing the brunt of the problem. And I think that I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Some of them I just discussed, but if you back up a little bit, a big reason is that we're building these high-speed, dangerous facilities in places where, you or I probably wouldn't want to live, but people who don't have a choice might be living there.
And they're exposed.
Yeah.
And then they get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. That tracks. Do some more shout outs. How do we get a hold of you if we want to, get on the board?
Sure.
Throw you money.
Yeah.
What do we do to participate? Do you guys have monthly meetings?
We don't have monthly meetings. We do have an email list where we send out actually a weekly email newsletter. Comes out every Friday that has a lot of information about what's going on locally in the transportation type world. Also opportunities for people to get involved, speak up, comment on public issues, that kind of stuff.
So we could email you and get on the list.
Yeah, there's a sign-up sheet or sign-up form on our website. If you're interested in getting more involved, we also have a volunteer list. One thing I didn't mention is we do bike valet at public events. So this past year, I think we did maybe 12 or 15 events. We do Oyster Festival, North Country Fair, all sorts of smaller events where if you bike there, we'll watch your bike for you. And
we did one of those at Wharfinger.
Oh yeah, yep. Was it the trail celebration?
Correct.
Yep, we did it there. Yep,
that was you guys.
Yep.
So you know Reese Hughes then?
Oh yeah.
Hey Reese, what's up, Reese?
Yeah, Reese is great.
Great guy.
So we take volunteers for that or for other tasks that we have.
And email address again or website?
website is transportationpriorities.org or crtp.info if you want a shorter one.
Okay.
And there's a contact form on there if you just have anything you want to contact us about. And just encourage anyone to reach out.
Sweet. So before we sign off and talk about your legacy and your gravestone and all that stuff, we took a bike ride with you and the group in McKinleyville, and the new. We started out at is it Hickshari down there at the foot of school?
The Hammond Trail.
The Hammond Trail.
Yeah.
What's the foot of? It's the foot of schools. Yeah, we started on the.
Hammond. I see.
We did go on the Hammond.
Yeah, that. What is
you know about the Hammond Trail?
Yeah.
It's named after my great grandfather, Andrew Hammond.
I think you told me that.
Yeah, I'm a I'm a lumber baron's kid, and I just show up here for fun. I just hang out. Now Andrew was quite a guy, though. He had the biggest redwood mill in the world at the time at Samoa, and it later became, I think, Georgia Pacific. They did a monopoly buster on that, and he wound up in Hammond, Oregon, way up by Astoria.
Wow.
Yeah, the lumber guys.
Yeah, there you go.
No relation. Joni gets, every time I bring it up, she just gets so tweaked. Just stop. So, anyway, where was I going with that?
The Hammond
so we did the ride. Yeah. We did the ride. Tell us about the ride and then the traffic calming on McKinleyville Avenue.
Yeah. So we did a little sort of family-friendly bike ride. Started at the trailhead of the Mad River Trail, that new trail there, and then took the, I don't know what the name of that segment is along School Road.
It has a name.
Yeah.
That trail.
It does.
But then we went up to the Hammond Trail.
Up the Hammond Trail to Hiller Park, picked up some more folks there, and then just headed up Hiller to Central and back down and stopped at Seagoat Farm Stand.
My bad, I'm calling it McKinley. It's Hiller Avenue. Hiller. Yeah. Hiller's where they did the county came in and did the traffic slowing for the bike lane.
Yeah.
And that was cool, by the way. The A-frame there at the Seagoat Farms.
Yeah.
It used to be Grace Good Shepherd Church, I think.
That's still there.
Still is?
Yeah.
That's a cool little store.
It is a cool spot, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And they, actually, I should give them a shout out because the Seagoat, it's a nonprofit, and they really coordinated the mural part of that project. They kind of brought the artists on board and helped raise money, and actually it's still ongoing. They're still raising money for a mural in the new roundabout that was built at that intersection.
Cool.
It's just built a week or two ago.
Joni took me on it. She was so excited.
Yeah.
I think we should have went twice.
It's pretty cool. And that, again, I don't want to get too much in the weeds because I can talk about this stuff all day, but what they did there, it's called a quick build project. And the idea is like, if you don't have to do any new paving or cement, you can do stuff pretty quick with just like paint and plastic.
And those plastic
the little
things.
Bollard things.
Bollards.
So the idea is like, it's not going to last forever, but you can get some of those safety gains right away, and you can have people interact with it and like get feedback and figure out what to do in making it permanent.
So you can tweak it up as you go.
So we've been trying to promote that idea around here to kind of like, because sometimes, you do this work and you're like, wow, that bike lane. Yeah, we agreed to do that bike lane, and now it's been 10 years and they finally painted the bike lane, It's like, maybe we could do it a little quicker, and even if it's not permanent, get some of that improvement.
I like that. Yeah. And what if it really, really worked?
Exactly.
So would we do the same on the Central Avenue proposal? Would that be kind of a trial and error type of thing?
I think it's going to still be more public process before we figure out exactly what happens there. But I would say in that case, well, actually with Hiller too, the McKinleyville Town Center ordinance that was just adopted, it shows what it'll be roughly in the long term. But there is a possibility of having some of those quick build things in the near term because it'll probably take a long time to raise the money and figure out how to do the permanent.
So you must have some advocates at county level then, Steve Madrone and
for sure.
Different people.
Yeah. Steve's been a great friend. We actually gave him our Responsible Transportation Champion Award this year for all of his work on trails and transit.
Congrats, Steve.
Yeah.
One of my first guests.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was great. Really great guy. It's funny when you actually talk to people how you discover, Colin's actually a pretty cool guy. Scott's we could go either way on Scott, but
great guy.
He's okay. We like him anyway. So, parting shots. What are we saying at your funeral, at your celebration of life? What would you hope that people would say about you, Colin?
He cared.
Nice.
That's what I would hope people would say.
It's good. Caring's good. I think, caring and then expressing that care. I think that's, I'm not writing your funeral, but yeah.
No, I've tried to devote my life to making things a little bit better, and there's a lot of different ways to do that. But I think transportation interests me because it's this cross section between like all these important things, like environment and social safety and equity and the economy and community, and it's like all these things are wrapped up in it, and I feel like you can make improvements that really change people's lives.
I like it. And before we go, I'd like to talk about the Great Redwood Trail for a sec. I mean, that's got to play into your vision in the next decade.
Yeah.
Because as we connect that next leg to Lolita or wherever south.
Yep. Yeah. So the next segment that's being planned, in addition to the Annie and Mary Trail, which is ongoing, is extending the trail south from Eureka to CR. And we participated in a planning study for that. So there's initial plans for that, and then they have to raise money to do the engineering work and environmental review and then actually build it. But that's sort of the next big step in our area. And that's super cool because so many students at CR commute and don't drive. They ride the bus or whatever, or people do bike down there, and it's kind of dangerous.
There's got to be highway time.
Yep. So that's a really exciting next step.
And then Lolita would be a stop on the trail, right? At some point.
Lolita, it'll go right through Lolita. And so I would say, the trail, the whole Great Redwood Trail is like a huge vision. It's going to take a long time.
Sure.
But the parts that are most exciting to me are the parts that are not just recreation, like not just the backcountry trail, although I love that, but that also function to provide safe transportation for people. And so like that Eureka to CR is a great example where it's like, it's going to be beautiful. You're going to be going right through the National Wildlife Refuge and all that stuff.
Oh, it's perfect.
But it's also like really important safety infrastructure.
It's got a purpose. It's taking students back and forth. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, really glad you came.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you. Yeah. So, hey, everybody. Scott Hammond, 100% Humboldt with my new best friend, Colin. And thanks for listening. And you could join us on Access Humboldt, all the podcast platforms, YouTube, and of course, right here. This will be our last broadcast for the year.
Oh, and I'm honored.
Oh, yeah, we're honored to have you. And I want to thank so many people. Nick, my main man with Growing Pains podcast, Nick Flores, is amazing. My daughter, Kalia, my wife, Joni's a big supporter. Quality Body Works in our Eureka. I was going to say Arcata. They're in Eureka. Kim Kemp, we're on her redheaded black belt all the time. And of course, our good friends at Dick Taylor Chocolates, where their chocolates it's pretty good.
It's pretty darn good.
It's pretty darn good. We just saw them play down at the Steeple in Ferndale. They were Huckleberry Flint. They were amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, back in the, love to see those guys. Anyway, hey, again, thanks for having us, and we're out.